Hey, what is up, guys? So I'm gonna be doing a over-the-shoulder walkthrough of me kind of optimizing our Google Ads accounts for one of our clients. So this is what my agency does for our clients on a weekly and sometimes on a daily basis. And so you could see a checklist here that I'll kind of just be running through. This is going to work for any type of home service company. So in this case, it's for a tree service client, and they do tree trimming, tree removal, land clearing, that sort of thing. But it'll work if you're a plumbing company, if you're an HVAC technician, if you're an electrician. Just follow along and I'll show you how you can optimize your Google search campaigns to get more and more leads coming in. So the main goal here is just to improve the overall quality of your Google Ads so that you can get those jobs that you're looking for. So first thing I'm going to start with is this general section and just kind of go down the line. So I have the Google Ads account for this client open. So first thing is, are there any notifications that need to be addressed? Normally it's going to be the ones in red. So if you look at the notifications, it's at the top right here, and you could see a big red exclamation point. That means there's important things that need to be adjusted or addressed. So this campaign needs some love. I could already tell not much has been done to it in a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up. So it looks like the account was verified. That's good. This is just saying to use the Google Ads mobile app. And then there's a few suggestions. Now, a note is to not take all the suggestions. Sometimes Google will suggest things that may not benefit your bottom line. And what I mean by that is some of these suggestions will spend more of your campaign ad budget and kind of reduce the ROI that you're getting from your Google Ads campaigns. Others are actually very helpful and others may not apply. So I'm gonna kind of disregard this for now just so we could stay on track, but I'll touch on those in a little bit. So let's see. Any notifications that need to be addressed? Let's see. Yeah, we want dynamic image assets. I guess I'll go through it now. Dynamic image assets. Now that's Google Ads, the Google Ads platform dynamically generating images based off of what it could read off your website and based off of the ads and the headlines that you're putting in. So what I've found is that this doesn't work perfectly right now, and sometimes it'll generate an image that will show up with your ad that won't be quite related to your ad. So I'd rather have full control of that and add my own images that I decide are going to work best. So that I'm going to dismiss, but yeah, you're welcome to test it out. I've found that typically it doesn't perform as well as images that I select. Next is to upload customer lists. This is actually super helpful, but in this case, this client doesn't have a long list of customers. But what this would do is actually give you an opportunity to remarket to existing customers. So if you upload a list of names and email addresses and phone numbers or whatever contact information you have with your past customers, then you can actually upload that into Google and it'll retarget and reshow and repurpose your ads towards them and expand on that list to improve the targeting overall for your campaign. But for now, this doesn't apply. And it looks like it wants us to improve responsive search ads into ad groups. So this is probably due to the quality score or relevance score. So let's see. Auto apply. I'm just gonna take a look at this, but usually I don't edit it right here. So right here you can see that it is given an average ad strength score. So all Google is telling you is that you can improve this and it might improve your ad performance. What I found is that even poor ad strength can actually perform better than excellent ad strength. So it's one factor, but it's not all the factors. So That I will just dismiss for now. Dismiss. Add a business logo to your account. So I believe with this account, we've tried adding the logo many times. Sometimes it requires, like it'll say that the logo is too blurry, or maybe it's not formatted properly. So you do need to get from your clients or from for your business itself, ideally a high quality, large, square formatted logo, because it's going to show up right here. So for now, I will need to get that from this client that we took on. Okay, let's see. And then add 34 new keywords. Now make sure you don't click apply to this right away because sometimes it's going to give you keyword suggestions that may not be relevant to what you're offering in your business. Or maybe it's something that, in this case, it is relevant, but it's a broad keyword match. And I'll get to that in another video if you're not familiar. But basically, like for root removal, and it's a broad keyword match, this could bring up terms like, gosh, I don't know, a root. Kind of like you could pour things to kill the roots, and people are looking for things like to chemically kill the roots, and maybe you don't offer that as a service, and people searching for root removal, maybe they're looking for a root removal liquid or a chemical compound to remove the roots. Yeah, I mean, that was probably an example I could have improved, but you get the idea. Now in this case, root removal service, maybe that's a little better. So instead of a broad match, I probably want some type of phrase match or closer. But what you can do as you're going through each of these keywords is just look at the top search terms that are related to that keyword that Google is suggesting, and then see if it's all pretty relevant to your service. So you can see here, here's a good example. This is an issue with broad match keywords. So you can see this keyword, tree hauling service. Now maybe, let's say you're offering tree hauling service. So that's a bunch of debris cut down and people just want to hire someone to haul it away, sort of like a debris cleanup. But look at the search terms that a broad match brings up. It brings up, let's see, Heartland Tree Service, A&M Tree Service. I wish I could hover over here, but I can't. So it starts to bring up some competitors' names, and you definitely want to avoid targeting competitor names at first. There is a time and place for that, but right now, starting off for most campaigns, you're not going to be targeting competitors. So yeah, I'd like to tighten up the targeting here. And the best and easiest way to do that is by narrowing your match types to either phrase and or exact match. So you can totally leave this at a broad match keyword broad match keyword match type if your negative keyword list is extremely extensive. So in this case, I'd want to make sure, like if I were going to target a broad match keyword, I want to make sure that I have a list of all the competitors in the area and upload that into Google and tell Google, hey, I want to avoid my ads ever showing up for these competitors. So it's a lot, especially for newer campaigns. You actually want to start off with tighter targeting, develop your negative keyword list as you optimize the campaigns, and then go from there. So I would go through each of that, but I want to keep things moving along because we're literally just on the first bubble. So let's see, is the payment method working? Now to check that, you simply go to billing and then summary. And I'm not going to show that out of respect to this client, but that's where you check if there's any outstanding payments or if there's any payment issues or an expiration needs to be, a payment method is expired and you need to upload a new card or insufficient funds, whatever the case may be. So that's it for the general. Then we're on to sort of the spending and sort of the optimization or segmenting the ads. So first I'm going to look at the campaign level, and we're going to look for bad metrics, which means no conversions or high cost per actions or a low return on ad spend. Now don't worry about these terms, especially if you're starting off with a new campaign. This is just a general checklist that we go off of, but really we're just looking for poor metrics. So let's see. This is at the campaign level, and then we just have an internal note to create optimization tasks as needed. So that's how we kind of flow through things. So if there is an issue, then I'd create an additional task that can be tackled more in depth and at a later time. But the purpose of this checklist is just to run through it and quickly optimize the account or create tasks that lead to further optimization. So let's see. So I'm going to look at the campaign level. So I'm at campaigns. So first, the campaign is the most broad level. So you have campaign level, then you have the ad group level, and then you have the ad level. So we're going to start at the most macro level. And what I'm going to look at on this client's account, I could see that they stopped running ads for quite some time here, several months, and then it picked back up. And so I like to look at I'll look at the impressions. I don't know why I can't find it. It's pretty early in the morning right now. Okay. There you go. So look at the impressions. The impressions are pretty steady and consistent with the clicks. So then I'm going to start looking at other metrics. So next I'm going to look at cost per click. And then I'm going to look at conversions. And I'm going to compare to see if like conversions are dropping. And you can see it right here. So cost per click was dropping here, which is good, but then there looks to me that there's a conversion tracking issue with this campaign. So I'd like to look at the macro scale, because if I went right away to here and I looked at the cost per conversion here, it looks incredibly high. But I know just by this alone that there are 8 phone calls just from this campaign alone, which isn't a lot, by the way. I'd like to see more, but phone call. There's 8 phone calls, but then the phone call lead is only 1. So that's odd. And then we have $773 spent and only 1 conversion showing from $773. But in this case, I could see 8 phone calls. So at the very least, considering that these are qualified phone calls, we should have at least 8 conversions. So instead of this being $773 per lead or per conversion, this is the more accurate number is probably going to be more along the lines of $80 to $90. So there is a conversion tracking issue. So I probably write a note and create a task to fix conversion tracking. That I'll need to cover in another video because that is a whole other topic. So that's, again, I'm diagnosing what's going on with this campaign. Why did they come out to us and need more or improved performance? Because something's broken, obviously. So this right here is a big one. Then you can see when ads started back up, there's 0 conversions. And let's see, this is in May 29th. So if I actually, let me just, go from May 29th, I could see that at least 1 phone call came in for this campaign. 2 phone calls for both. Again, things might not be measured properly, so it could be performing much better than what you see here. But at the very least, there should be at least 1 conversion. So something's not right here. Look at the entire year here. Something's not right here, so that's a big red flag. Another thing you may have noticed is I'm looking at it on a annual level. Typically when doing these weekly optimization, if you're doing it consistently every week, then you just look at the last 7 days or the last week's metrics. So yeah, for this campaign, because we're just kind of taking it on, there's a lot to fix. I'm looking at the entire past year's data to see what is going on so I could tell a better story to this client and let them know what we're going to do to fix it. So bad campaign metrics, yes. Typically what I do is compare like the cost per clicks and cost per conversion for between campaigns and figure out which one to maybe invest a little bit more into. But in this case, I mean, it's not set up properly. The data may be misleading, so I'm not even gonna follow the data too closely until that conversions are set up properly. As far as the cost per click, you can see that it's pretty even, so no campaign is outperforming the other at the moment. Okay, so then I'm gonna do the same thing at the ad group level. So click here on the left, go to ad group, and then I want to make sure that I do it by each campaign, but in this case, they only have 1 ad group for each campaign. So really, there's no ad groups to split test against each other. Ideally, there'd be multiple ad groups and compare the data there. So it's kind of irrelevant right now. I'm gonna move on. Next, we're going to go to targeting. So the search term audit, I created an entirely other video on that that you can find. It's probably called search term audit or something like that. Just look it up. And what we're looking to do is add negative keywords and add highly relevant keywords or converting keywords as exact match keywords. So 2 things: we want to find keywords to avoid, and we want to find keywords to target. So to do that, I'm going to go to Insights and Reports and then click on Search Terms. And this is going to be a lot of data to look through. Typically it'd be a lot less if you're doing this on a regular basis. So we have 824 keywords. Let me just actually look at this over the last 30 days for the sake of this video. And what I want to do is first, you could do it in any order, but I'm going to first look for keywords that I want to avoid, and I want to add this as negative keywords. So oftentimes this is going to be competitor names or just irrelevant services. So a cool thing you can do is actually filter it out by using this add filter section. And then I'm going to look for the search term filter. And then I'm going to start typing in things that I want to avoid. So let's see, maybe free. Now I'm writing in tree service, which is a ideal keyword, but what this is going to do is going to bring up most other competitor company names, which are going to be like ABC tree service, Bob's tree service. So I want to see those, and you'll see what I mean in a moment. And Maybe I'll bring up Home Depot. Let's do free. And yeah, I think that's a good start. So we have the list narrowed down right now to 160. So you can see right here, Shane's tree service, Richard's tree service, Norris tree service. So I'm going to go through and just look for competitors' names and start adding them to a negative keyword list. So all these are competitors' names. And what I don't want to do is make, like sometimes it'll be the city plus tree service, for example. So it'll be like Los Angeles tree service. I want to keep that. That's a good name. So make sure you don't accidentally block those. So let's see, American, I'll keep American. Yeah. If some are, I'm not sure if it's a competitor's name, it's really like subjective or ambiguous, then I might either look it up or I might just skip it. Okay, so you kind of get the point here. I'm going to then, there's a lot here. This needs a ton of optimization, but I'm going to add these as a negative keyword. And you could do it at the campaign level, or if there are keywords that you just want to avoid for a particular campaign. So let's say you are running, a tree trimming campaign, but you are getting stump removal keywords showing up, and you want to block those just for your tree trimming campaign. You could do it at the ad group or the campaign level, or like, yeah, if you want to, coffee. I'm waiting for this coffee to kick in. So if you want to, you can block certain keywords at certain levels. So if you want to block all the stump removal keywords in the tree trimming campaign, make sure you add the stump removing keywords as negative keywords in the tree trimming ad group. Or if there's a full dedicated tree trimming campaign, then you can block all the stump removal words at the campaign level. So it depends how you have your ad groups and campaigns segmented. Probably confused you. Disregard if it confused you. What I'd like to do is just add it as negative keywords at the campaign level. That's going to work in most cases for most of you. So what I'd like to do as well is actually add it to a negative keyword list. This is going to be a lot easier as you move on, because you could just start creating different lists. Maybe it's negative keyword list general, or a negative keyword list for stump removal words or competitor names. So you could start to get more and more specific with this, but I'm going to put negative keyword list general. That sounds good. And I'm going to start building this list week after week. Okay? And so if you want to see this list, I can go to keywords on the left here and then look at negative keywords. So you can see existing negative keywords for this campaign and the ad groups. But I'm going to also use a negative keyword list that I just created, and then I'm going to add it to the campaigns. So I added it to the tree removal campaign, and see how you can add and select multiple lists. And then I'm going to add it to the tree service campaign. All right, so that is one half of the search term audit. Next, we're going to look for high-performing keywords. So you go back to the search terms, and now I'm going to use the filters again. Look for search term, and I'm going to look for things that I do want to target. So this is one way to do it. And so let's say I want to look for estimate, because people requesting for estimates, I might want to target, or quote, or maybe near me. And you can see many different keywords that we can target that are not currently added. Then even better if they have some type of clicks and some type of like conversions ideally, and we'd want to add it like that. So tree trimmer service near me, tree trimming near me. Yeah, let's see, tree trimming near me. These are all good. So let's say I went through this list. Then I'm going to add them as a keyword. And then I might add them to a particular ad group. So in this case, we have tree trimming. I might want to create a new tree trimming ad group. So I might add that. Add that as a task. So you can see people are looking for tree trimming services. You might want to create a tree trimming ad group, especially if you're getting a ton of relevant searches like that and you do want to target it, then that's what I do. But let's see, in this case we don't have it. So I'm going to look for things that I can show you right now. Let's see, tree services near me, tree service near me, tree services near me, arborist near me, top rated tree services near me. So you kind of get the picture, and what I'm going to do is add these as a keyword, and I want all of them to go to this campaign because they all say tree service. So I'd actually update the final URL for this one to match these URLs. So a big one here is these by default are going to be added as broad match keywords. And the most important thing, this is super important, you want to add them as exact match keywords. So that's good. You're going to need to add this little bracket here and this little bracket here, like that. So that's the formatting you want to do. It is kind of tedious. Another option is, I'll show you another option in a moment. Or you can actually copy these keywords, paste them in a Excel sheet and do the formula thing, or put it in a ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT to add these before and after, or you can manually do it like I just did here. Okay, now I left this one open, and I'm going to show you another way to add the brackets if you have a bunch of keywords. So I'm going to click on save. I'm going to remember that. Click on save. This is a policy violation saying it's recreational drugs, which I think Google's thinking someone's looking for a different kind of tree service, right? That ganja. So sometimes I just remove that. I might add tree service company near me, and hopefully that overrides it. Okay, cool. So I'm going to show you how to change the match type of that one that I left open, which was arborist near me. I'm going to go to keywords. I'm going to filter it by the campaign that it's in. Then I'm going to select match type, and I want the broad match keywords to show up. So you can actually see there's several broad match keywords. And in this case, you can see it here, broad arborist near me. I could simply click on that and put exact match, and you can see it added the brackets there. So that's another way to do it. And yeah, we are done with this test. Moving along. Let's see, keyword review. So now I'm going to be looking at all the keywords. So we're actually in the keywords here, and you could filter this by campaign or by ad group, depending on how many keywords you have to look through, and then of course by the date. So what I'm looking for here are the best performing keywords. In this case, our metrics weren't set up well, so I'm gonna have to go off the cost per click. And basically, I'm just looking at the keywords that have had some type of activity and see if the cost is something I'm willing to bid on. So I'm looking for keywords, more keywords to add to the campaigns. I apologize. They're already added to the campaigns. I was thinking about the search term audit. I'm looking for keywords to pause bidding on and that are underperforming. So in this case, let's see, I see a $71 keyword here, and it's for tree removal cost. This is a broad match. You can see how broad match sometimes costs more than the tighter targeting. I want to look at the entire year's data for that one. Tree removal cost. And look at that. You see the average cost per click at $5.78. I think I was just looking at the total cost. I might have been mistaken there, so all right. So all I'm looking for here is the average cost per click because that's the best data we have to go off of. And then I'm going to see if we want to pause the keyword, remove the keyword, or keep it. So average cost per click, these two are costing much more than everything else. But you know what? A tree removal service near me is a very high buyer intent keyword. So I'm okay with that, especially until I know that I know how much each conversion is costing me for that keyword. So I think we're okay here. I'm gonna look for this campaign and do the same thing. So we have more clicks. I'm gonna look at the highest cost per click, which is this, tree clearing companies. I think I'm okay with it. It's not so much higher. It does have a decent click-through rate. Yeah, I mean, not enough data here for me to feel comfortable with simply removing that just yet. So we went through that, cost per click, cost per conversion. Now we're gonna look for any bad statuses. So click on this status level and it'll show you any issues. So this is saying that bad quality score, and the ads limited or rarely shown due to the quality score. So you can add a note to actually improve the landing page and the ad so that they are more congruent. And let's say you have an ad that says Arborist Tree Service and your landing page says Arborist Tree Service, then Google might improve your quality score and show the ad more. But in this case, I'm going to pause it, and I can add a note to create the better ad copy and the better landing page experience to improve this quality score. That's another thing you can do. And I do the same thing for tree removal. So it doesn't look like we have any warnings there, so we're good to go. And almost wrapping up here, we only have a couple more things to do. For call only ads or call extensions, review call extensions and report and filter by keywords. So I don't believe there's a call only campaign here, but let's see. There might be call extensions. Typically what I do is go to assets and I can check if there's a call extensions. Go to assets, click on call, and you can see call extensions right here. So they do have call extensions. So to check that report, you go to report editor, which is under insights and reports. You could actually, let's let's see, call details. And if you look at this report, go to the report and then filter by search keywords. So again, we're looking at which keywords led to conversions. So what I'm going to do is, this shows all the keywords or all the calls. I want to look for ones that lasted a while. So let's say more than a minute. So these top 3 lasted more than a minute. And the cool thing that you can do is you can see which campaign led to those calls. But even better is you can actually, let's see, what is, you can find the exact keyword that someone typed in that led to those calls. So this is another way to find keywords. So the search keyword was tree removal cost and tree service removal company. Now, if I went back to the campaign, I'd be able to see that, or should be able to see that as a conversion. And then the last thing you want to do is just check if there's any ads that are disapproved or rarely shown, and then just resubmit it for review after you make the necessary changes. So all you need to do for that is click on campaigns, go to ads, and then look under the status level and make sure that they're all showing as eligible and there's no issues. And there you have it. So that is how I literally go through each client's ad campaign. These are things that we do on a weekly level at the very least. It's a lot easier to manage when you do it regularly. It usually doesn't, you won't encounter as many keywords to go through as you see right here if you're doing it on a regular basis. And yeah, I mean, there are some things that we do on a monthly and a quarterly basis, but as far as day-to-day things, this is pretty much what you need to do to optimize your Google Ads campaign. So hopefully that helped. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Take care.